I now give the floor to the distinguished representative of Namibia.
Mr. President, at the outset, I would like to thank you for convening this important meeting for the General Assembly to consider 4 draft resolutions under item 35 on the question of Palestine, as recommended by the Committee on the Exercise of the Inalienable Rights of the Palestinian People. My delegation thanks the Secretary-General for his comprehensive report as contained in document A/74/333 S/2019/685. We also thank the committee for its detailed report as contained in document A/74/35 and recognize its remarkable work in maintaining international awareness and mobilizing efforts to achieving a just, comprehensive and lasting solution to the question of Palestine. Mr. President, for the past 72 years, since the adoption of the United Nations General Assembly Resolution 181 on 29 November 1947, we have been waiting to see the illegal occupation of Palestine come to an end and see the Palestinian children, women and men exercise their inalienable right to self-determination and freedom. However, Israeli settlements, the destruction and confiscation of property, the exploitation of natural resources, the blockade imposed on Gaza, the detention of children, and the use of administrative detention, as well as the construction of the wall in the West Bank and East Jerusalem, continue unabated despite the repeated calls by the United Nations for an end to the occupation and halting of all repressive practices in the occupied Palestinian territories. These actions remind us of apartheid in Namibia, when the majority of the population, including women and children, were forcefully displaced and divided from their homes, where many civilians who protested were subsequently killed. Because of this experience, Namibia knows that for as long as the people are denied their inalienable right to self-determination and independence, tension, frustration, and anger will continue to mount. My delegation has also noted the latest announcement by the government of the United States on 18 November 2019, announcing that it does not consider Israeli settlement in the West Bank as contravening international law. My delegation finds this most concerning, as settlements are illegal under the 4th Geneva Convention. Settlements violate international law, international humanitarian and human rights law, as well as relevant UN resolutions, including Security Council Resolution 2334 of 2016. This announcement also represents an obstacle to peace and to the two-state solution. It is also because of this current state of affairs that my delegation last week, together with the international community, commemorated the International Day of Solidarity with the Palestinian people. This day provided us an opportunity to recognize the inalienable right of the Palestinian people to self-determination, the right to national independence and sovereignty, and the return to their homes and property from which they have been displaced. We call on Israel to immediately and completely cease all settlement activities in the occupied Palestinian territory, including East Jerusalem. Mr. President, our desire is for the people of both Israel and Palestine to live in peace in a stable region that would ultimately enable the region to focus its energies, its resources, and its talents on development and progress. We unwaveringly believe and support the UN Secretary General and the overwhelming majority of the UN member states in their conviction that there is no plan B to the two-state solution. Therefore, a political dialogue that addresses the historic injustice of occupation based on the pre-1967 borders and in accordance with international law and relevant UN resolutions is the only way to ensure peaceful relations between Israel and Palestine. No peace is achievable without renewed political process and engagement to stabilize and to heal. Consequently, Namibia supports and co-sponsors the 4 draft resolutions to be considered today by the General Assembly, particularly draft resolutions A/74, L14, and A/74/L16, to enable the Committee on the Exercise of the Inalienable Rights of the Palestinian People and the Division of Palestinian Rights of the Secretariat, respectively, to continue to carry out their mandates throughout 2020 in its efforts to make constructive and positive contribution to raising awareness and to mobilize international solidarity and support for the Palestinian people until the question is resolved on the basis of the pre-1967 lines. I wish to conclude by reaffirming Namibia's unequivocal commitment and full solidarity with the cause of the Palestinian people to be able to exercise their inalienable right in an independent state of Palestine, with East Jerusalem as its capital and as a rightful member of the United Nations and its specialized agencies, in order to secure its long overdue rightful place amongst the global community of nations. I thank you.
I thank the distinguished representative of Namibia.